Tsundok-Who, noun. Language of origin, Japanese. Meaning, the act of acquiring books but allowing them to pile up unread.
Carly Vanders faces off against enemies foreign and domestic as the bioelectric blonde bombshell Kamen America. After a blast of radiation from a fallen NASA probe, she's granted a variety of powers and now leads a second life as a masked heroine and defends the nation with her newfound powers in an eye for fashion. My name is Chad Bonin, and this is Tsundok-Who, The History of Heroes, a look at the origins and lives of classic and current characters. Is Kamen America a mass marvel for the roaring 20s? Or is she an antiquity of a past that readers have moved beyond?
Comics, games, animation, and a variety of henshin credible superhero shows from Japan. Chad Bonin guides you through the Tsundok-Who Zone.
Never known this gotta be a violent laugh, but I don't have a clue what will come to pass, and I'm worried about that giant magnifying glass. Looks like I'm about to become a molten mass of B-grade plastic. Won't feel fantastic right now. I really wish I had the power of magic, but I'm only a figure.
Carly Vanders made her debut in Kamen America Volume 1, Stars and Strife. Having premiered in a Kickstarter launch title in March 2020, there's not much of a history to actually review. Timothy Lim and Mark Pellegrini are the co-creators of the character, and as of the time of this biography, this 56-page issue remains the totality of her adventures. Charlotte Sasha Vanders, known as Carly to her friends, grew up with an eye and interest for fashion, not particularly suited for sports. She carried this passion through her teenage years and into international USO shows, where she designed the costumes that her and her fellow dancers wore. With her talent going unnoticed, she was headed back to America when her vehicle was hit by debris from a falling NASA probe. After a 3-week coma, she awakened at Area 51 in the care of Dr. Gracie to discover that she had absorbed a significant amount of Venusian radiation from the probe. This had led to an unusual amount of bioelectricity and a significant level of chimeratons, to quote Gracie. Without much pressure, she was offered a position with the military, but declined and returned home, dejected and lost without a purpose. Once home, she was struck by lightning, which had the effect of changing her hair color blonde and giving her the ability to float. This led her to the steps of a media relations agency, which gave her both a superhero identity, War Hen, and a villainous monster to fight, Gordosaurus. What followed was a whirlwind tour of the states, handling different beasts wherever they arose for the next 6 months. The title and her association with the agency wouldn't last long, as she gave a scarf to a person in need, which could theoretically ruin her brand image. Having hit her breaking point, she abandoned the War Hen name and decided to take up the mantle of Kamen America. As Kamen America, Carly can generate bioelectric pulses and blasts and shows 4 different named attacks: Static Smasher, Velvet Thunder, Fashion Flash, Twin Tailored Tasers. She features an unspecified level of increased strength, speed, and resilience, having been able to take some major explosions with only minimal costume damage. Nothing more than a traditional enhanced human would feature, her main focus is in the electricity attacks and the flight apparently granted by them. Given the expenditure of energy, she can only sustain powers for 3 hours. After that time is up, she'll step down from Super Saiyan blonde hair and return to normal. As a fashion designer, both her War Hen and Kamen America costumes are custom made, but unlike the titular Kamen Rider inspiration, do not appear via a transformation device or action. They also don't appear to grant her any bonuses to her skill set or defenses, and are purely for marketing and disguise purposes. To look beyond the story, Kamen America is clearly a riff on a major Marvel Comics character. The name Carly Vanders is clearly a riff on Carol Danvers, and War Hen is a spin on her 1990s and early 2000s name, Warbird. Her initial costume as War Hen is significantly modeled after her final Miss Marvel costume, before passing the title to Kamala Khan. Notably, it features similar thigh-high boots, bodysuit, and long gloves, along with her iconic sash. Coupled with a domino mask and flowing blonde hair, it's clear where the inspiration lies. Given the art style and star-spangled attire, it's hard not to remember the Captain America from the Marvel mangaverse as well. When it comes to her Kamen America identity, the book does lampshade the reference to Kamen Rider, the Japanese, and occasionally American, bike-riding superhero. Despite a poster in her house and the tradition of declaring attack names, there's nothing particularly referential in the name. Of note, Kamen literally translates to mask, so she's effectively masked America. As Kamen America, her costume has been redesigned, but keeps many of the same elements. Most notably, she appears to take inspiration from DC's Power Girl in that weird midlife crisis period of the Invisible Woman. We're talking about her star-shaped cleavage window, for lack of a better term. When discussing the character's background, the fashion designer angle could be clearly traced or referenced to Janet Van Dyne of the Avengers, or Cheyenne Fremont if you want to take a real deep DC dive, the USO tour aspects to Captain America's theatrical origin, and the international explosion to Tony Stark. There's no clear path for Kamen America for the future. While she featured in her own Volume 1 trade paperback, it wasn't much more than the content within two traditional American comics. There's a bit of a tease at the end for her possible future, tying back to the creator's other works, but in case she has a long-lasting shelf life ahead of her, now you know just Tsundok-Who she is. That's it for this dive into the Tsundoku Zone, but the stack never ends.
She's psychopathic again. She's a